So if you want to sit for a second and just kind of go crisscross applesauce like this. Yeah, just sit Indian style. And then once you do that, I'm wearing my really fancy ripped up pants. And then you're gonna just lay down. So you're laying down with your legs crisscrossed, and then you kind of have to lift your tailbone up, have your palms. For some reason, this doesn't feel good. Obviously, just take Supta Konasana, but just incorporates a little bit of something extra fancy. And when you're laying down like this, flex your feet. Yeah, give your feet a nice little flex, like draw some attention to it. And then just connect to a nice slow inhale and a nice slow exhale. And let your inner thighs drop open and let your shoulder blades kind of drop down to the ground. And feel the natural rise and fall of your breath and your belly, and make nothing forced. So much of this practice is just really going with the flow, right? So with your eyes closed, if they're shut or open, whatever, just switch the cross of the legs. So you're just laying down and you just switch the cross of the legs. And once you do that, adjust again. You're just laying on your back, Dara. Happy Friday.
Okay.
Great.
That's good.
And flex your feet again, just to create a little bit of tension, and then let your inner thighs just drop open. So you're just laying on your back in a version, kind of fancier version of Supta Konasana. Draw more attention to the flex, external rotation of the thighs. And just let yourself feel for another moment or two. Good. Take your legs, feet flat, hips width distance. On the inhale breath, find some space in your core. On the exhale breath, you're going to pull yourself up like a little Pilates roll up, but keep your neck super neutral. And what I mean by that is just look up towards the sky. So the shoulder blades are lifted up off the ground. The belly is scooping in and up. The feet are driving into the mat, and you're just holding. Good. Keep the lift of the shoulders. You're going to lift your legs on an angle that works for you. So if lower back is something of sensitivity, the legs straight up to a 90-degree angle is a really good option. The shoulders can continue to lift up off the floor. The neck continues to draw long. Hands can always be behind the head if it's too much. Good. So you're finding the lift of the legs, you're holding. You're going to rebend, take the feet back down to the floor. Try and lift yourself up higher. And then exhale the breath, let it go. So I want to do these really, really slow so you could feel really, really happy this morning. Pull yourself up. Pause. Hands can be behind the head, and give yourself a little traction if you need that. Legs lift on an angle that works for you in space. Rebend, take your feet flat. See if you can lift up higher. Exhale the breath, let it go. Pull yourself up, reach and lift from your core, from the deep muscles, spreading of the lower back. Lift the legs on an angle that works. Straight up and down is great for a lot of us. Rebend the legs, lift higher. Exhale the breath, let it go. Good. This time you're going to slide your hands onto the floor like this. Palms are going to go flat. Bend your knees in half like a little tabletop. Start to press the hands down, pull the shoulders up, and very slowly pull yourself up to supported Navasana. But it didn't work out so great for you. Just reset. But I need your hands pressing onto something, okay? Hands pressing into something. Legs are bent in half. You can even use blocks as a great tool, which really helps the lift of the shoulder blades, the scooping out of the core. So find something where your hands are pressing. Keep the legs bent. Good. Keep the right leg bent and just straighten the left leg. So it just looks like this. Good. Bend the left leg and now straighten the right leg. Keep pressing down. Bend the right leg, straighten the left leg. Press the hands down. You can always drop onto your forearms if it's too much. Straighten the right leg, bend the left leg. Bend the right leg back in, straighten the left leg. So just go like this. Bend and straighten. You can drop down to your forearms like I'm demonstrating, which may give you a little bit more support in the neck or the back. Good, keep going. So just bending and straightening. Coming back to like that tabletop with the legs. One more cycle on each side. And then pause back in the center with both legs bent. Good. Reach your arms forward or hands behind the thighs like this. So now you're just kind of creeping yourself into a boat Navasana. And then if you can, for the last breath or two, maybe the arms reach forward. Maybe you flex your palms, flex your feet. Cross your ankles, take your hands, step to a tabletop position. Curl the toes into the mat. Anchor through your hands. Couple cat and cows, sink the spine down and look forward. Exhale, round the spine deeply and look in. Good, link breath with movement, sink the spine, look forward. Exhale, round and look in. Again, inhale, sinking the spine down and looking forward. Good work. Exhale, rounding and looking in. Come to flat back tabletop. Extend your right leg back. So it's just like a half plank here with the left knee down. Yeah. Contract the right thigh and then float your right leg up. Float it up so it's just hip height. Flex the toes. There's a spiraling of your right thigh down. And you're just breathing. Good. Hug your right knee in towards your navel. Point your toes. So it looks like this. The arms are super straight. Extend the right leg back to a three-legged tabletop, just like this. So do that again. Hug the right knee in, scoop out the belly. Arms are straight up and down. Extend the right leg back, three-legged tabletop, flex the foot. Draw the right knee in one more time, hug in tight, and then step the right foot all the way forward and through. Come to the fingertips. Slide your left leg back on an angle, just like this, guys. Be here for a moment. Contract your right hip. I keep my left toes curled. Plant the hands, start to walk them up the top of the thigh. Press the hands into the top of the thigh and then curl the arms up towards the sky, and you can look up a little. You can interlace your hands this morning, press the insteps of the palms, and then take a little opening of your shoulders. Neck stays nice and neutral. Right hip grips in. And just breathe into the front line of the body as you pause here. If you feel like it's too much in your lower back, back out of it. Just pull out of it a little rather than being so heavy in your hips. Split the hands apart, take the hands back down to the floor. Good. Hug the right knee back in and then extend the right leg back and through to that three-legged tabletop, just the way you got in, and then lower the foot down. So reset your tabletop here. Curl the left toes into the mat like a half plank, just pause. Feel the breath. Float the left leg up so it's hip height. Do everything in steps and stages. You can always check in. The hips are squared. Good. Your eyes are fixed. Your arms are engaged. You're pressing down. Hug the left knee in, scoop out the belly. And then extend the left leg back and through three-legged tabletop. Flex the foot. Try it again. Hug the knee in. Do it slow. Activate small muscles. Extend it back. Flex the foot. One more, hug it in, squeeze tight, and then slide your left foot all the way forward and through. Come to the fingertips and then slide your right knee back a little. Walk your hands to the top of the thigh knee area, press, creep yourself up, and then crawl your arms to the sky for supported lunge. So thigh is on an angle, back thigh is on an angle. You can interlace the hands, opposite grip if you could remember, and grow the sides of the body up as you anchor the left foot down, the left hip hugs in. You can always back out, which means you would pull out of it a little. So you're not as deep in your lower back, and it doesn't feel so great. And just root and breathe. Another big breath in. Split the hands apart, take them down to the ground. Good. Hug the left knee in, extend the left leg back and through that three-legged tabletop. Good work. Left knee down to the ground. Walk the hands a little forward. Lift your hips, down dog. Bend a little behind your knees. And then you can walk it out a little. Pump out your legs. Make the down dog feel good. Sometimes you need a little bit more movement at the start of the practice. Sometimes you just need to find it and hold it. Spread your toes nice and wide. Pay attention to your thumb, your index finger, your baby finger, your outer triceps hug in. And then the hardest part is the drishti, the focus. Find something, kind of your sweet spot, to just kind of hone in on. So it's natural for your mind to wander during the practice, but that's what we're here to work on. Just finding moments that you can find stillness in your mind and your thoughts and really just be present. Roll forward to plank. So from down dog to that first plank, sometimes it's not always 100%. So you need to iron it out. So you may need to take a little bit of a longer positioning in the stance. Yes. Lead with your chest a little bit, and that's going to help you take the round out of your upper back and shoulders. Fix your eyes on one spot. I like the front skinny edge of the mat. If it's too intense, you just support with your knees down this morning. Yeah. Find something that you know you can hold for a few more breaths. That is the goal. So you don't want to blow yourself out of the water early on. Just maintain stability and stillness, utilizing a nice, solid, strong ujjayi breath. Stay with it. Contract the thighs, draw the pit of the belly in and up, and think about your midline. That's the center line of the body. Hug in. Downward facing dog. Good work. Good. So find your way back to that plank. Yes. And then drop your knees down so they're a little behind you. Perfect. And then shift your weight forward about 2 inches. So big, yes. And then lower halfway to a supported push-up. Yeah, supported push-up. So bring your weight more forward towards the front. Yes, there you go. More, even a little bit more. And then re-straighten your arms, guys. Supported push-up. So when you're in this push-up position with the knees down, it looks like this. So your weight is more forward. So rock the weight forward. Your knees are behind you, and then lower halfway, supported push-up. And then re-straighten your arms, supported plank. So try it one more time. Lower halfway, supported push-up. Then re-straighten your arms, supported plank. Good. Lift the knees to a plank position. Hold. Hips up and back, downward facing dog. Look to the top of the mat. You can take 2 big steps or 20 steps to get there. Long spine, keep that weight forward. Exhale, fold into yourself. Try that again. Inhale, long spine. If the hands don't quite make it to the ground, they just slide to your shins this morning. This is a good place to be. Weight is forward. Exhale, fold again. Root to rise, come all the way up. And then drag it to prayer at heart and drop your arms and just stand for a second. Just stand in your body, close your eyes, feel your weight, kind of move forward and move back, and then just find center if you can. Blink your eyes open, sweep the arms straight up towards the sky. You got to anchor from the ground and then dive over bent knees, forward fold, let your head go. Come to the fingertips and prepare. Step to plank. When you arrive in plank, decide if you need to modify or take this out completely. Push up chaturanga, variation you know works for you. Up dog or baby cobra. So not everyone goes into the full up dog. Some of us prefer the baby cobra. Hips up and back, downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in. Take a full breath out. Good. Look where you want to go. You can step your feet there this morning. You can hop if you've had extra coffee. Long spine, weight is forward, or T if you're not a coffee drinker. Exhale, fold. Root to rise, come all the way up. Drag your hands to prayer, drop your arms. So from the top, moving slow and kind of effortlessly. Arms slide straight up towards the sky. Look up a little. Dive over bent knees, forward fold. Your weight pulls you forward. Long spine sets you up. Step to plank for this next one. Yep. Halfway to your version of a push-up that works for you. It may just be a micro push-up. That's good. Up dog or cobra. You pick what feels best in your body. Try not to crank the neck back. Hips up and back, downward facing dog. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Just make the connection to you right here. Just do you. Look where you want to go. Step or float your feet to the top. Get there nice and light. Long spine, weight stays forward. Exhale, fold. Root to rise, come all the way up. Drag your hands to prayer, drop your arms. Again, arms slide straight up towards the sky, go big. Dive over bent knees, forward fold, weight pulls you forward. Long spine sets you up, step or float through your vinyasa. So everyone's going to be a little different here. Chaturanga push-ups for some of us, not all of us. Up dog or cobra. Hips up and back, downward facing dog. I love that Dara's dog has its own mat. It looks like that. Yes, even the blocks. Look where you want to go, step or float to the top. That's awesome. Long spine, weight is forward. Exhale, fold into yourself. Root to rise, come all the way up. Hands to prayer at heart, drop your arms. Let's go one more time. Arms slide straight up towards the sky, go big. Dive over bent knees, forward fold. Long spine sets you up, step or float through your vinyasa. Upward facing, point the toes. Hips up and back, downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in. Take a full breath out. I actually want to do it this way today, guys, a little different. Come forward to plank. Yeah. Drop your knees, come back to tabletop position. Just come back to tabletop position for a sec. Curl the toes into the mat. Extend the right leg back again. Float it up towards the sky, okay? You're gonna bring your left hand out a little. You're gonna pivot the left toes and move into a modified side plank like this, okay? Even if you take a regular variation, take it like this right now. Yeah, so the left toes have to go out on an angle a little. The knee is a little behind you. And then the right leg stacks up and then you look up. Flex the right toes super strong. Breathe your side body open. And then look to the floor. Right hand comes down. Don't let your right foot touch. Just swing your left toes back around. You're back in this three-legged tabletop. Yeah. Hug your right knee in. Pause. Really scoop out the belly, round your spine. Step the right foot all the way forward and through. Come to your fingertips. Integrate your back legs. Now your knee's going to lift up off the ground. Yeah. Find the positioning of your feet that work for you. Hugging your hips in. And then sweep your arms back and just hover. Yeah, and just hover here. Just hover and hold. You're in a position where you're really feeling engagement of the small muscles in the lower half of the body. And then rise to come up, crescent lunge. If you get here, it feels wobbly, it feels unstable. Make necessary adjustments. That may mean you have to bend your back knee a little bit. That may mean you need to put your back knee down. But you want to drive your hip points forward, integrate the strength of the lower half of the body so the arms can extend up towards the sky and your eyes can kind of meet where the wall and the ceiling are. It's a good little drishti. Hold. Stay with it. Another big breath. Good. Hands are going to come down to frame your front foot. Listen carefully. You're going to hug your right knee in, extend your right leg back and through to a three-legged down dog now. Move really slow. Feel what you're doing. Plug down. Hug your left hip in. Fan your right toes strong. You got it. So you're just in a down dog with your right leg lifted. Perfect. Now look forward and use the momentum to step your right foot all the way forward and through. Turn your back foot on a strong angle, then come up, warrior one. Take your time, spin the left ribs forward. You can have a little pitch of your spine a little more forward if that feels better for you. Arms are growing up. Lower half of the body is rising down. Breath is flowing. Hands to frame your front foot. Move yourself through a vinyasa. Push up dog. Meet me in a downward facing dog. Take a full breath in. Take a full breath out. Roll forward to plank. Drop your knees down. Set up that tabletop. Extend the left leg back. Curl the toes into the mat. And then float the left leg off the ground. And then bring your right hand an inch out. Pivot the right toes enough that you can stack yourself into supported side plank. So it's a very small movement. If you set it up correctly, you could really find it. Stack the two arms. Lift the left leg so it's hip height. These look great. and just breathe. Lift up left leg 1 inch higher, and then look to the floor. Left hand comes down. Don't let your left toes hit. Right toes pivot forward. Good. You're in that 3-legged tabletop. Hug your left knee in. Pause. Round your spine. Draw that knee towards the forehead. Squeeze in. Step the left foot all the way forward and through. Slide the right leg back. Integrate that back leg. Lift the kneecap. Pause. You're in a low lunge. Steer your left hip underneath you, activate the back leg, and then reach your arms back and hover. Eyes of the shoulder blades squeeze kind of up and back. Legs are supporting the pose, and then sweep up, high lunge, crescent lunge. Come up with control. Hip points move forward, back thigh is super engaged, sitting deep into that front left thigh, creating a 90-degree angle, and then fix your eyes on something that's not moving. Hands to frame your front foot, pause, hug your left knee in, and then extend your left leg back and through to a 3-legged down dog. Be here. Hug the right hip in, feel the strong flex of your left foot. Neutralize your pelvis, look forward, land your left foot forward and through. Turn your back foot on a strong angle, come up warrior 1. Spin the right ribs forward. You got it. Arms energized. Hands to frame your front foot. Vinyasa or go to dog. Up dog is smooth. Hips up and back, downward facing dog. Good, look where you want to go. Step or float to the top, get there light. Long spine, keep that weight forward. Exhale, fold. Sit into chair, weight moves into your heels. Yeah, and play with chair. Sometimes having a little separation within your feet feels better on the lower back. So that may be the way to take this. Yeah, that looks good. And then press up to stand up and drag your hands to prayer. Here we go. From the top of the mat, guys, arms sweep straight up towards the sky. Sit deep into chair, and your feet can have that separation if it feels better. Sit deep, chair pose. Stick your butt way back. Dive over bent knees, forward fold, let your head go. Come to the fingertips to prepare. Step or float through your vinyasa. So you can just go to a dog too, just hold and breathe. Push-ups are optional, extra ones if you feel you want more. Meet me in a down dog. The right foot lands when you're ready. The back foot turns, warrior 1. Come up smoothly, effortlessly, and then bring it back down on your breath through vinyasa. If you're taking the up dog, just remember to not crank your neck back, keep it long. Meet me in a down dog. Left foot lands on your breath, on your beat. Back foot turns, warrior 1. Back down we go through a vinyasa. Add or subtract push-ups, back bends. Meet in a down dog and breathe. Great, look where you want to go. Step or float to the top of the mat. Get there nice and light, no jerky movements. Long spine sets you up. Exhale, fold into yourself. Sit deep into a chair, weight moves into your heels. Press up to stand up, drag your hands to prayer, drop your arms. Arms slide straight up towards the sky. That's the energy you need going up, and then sit into your chair, and it feels a whole lot better. Dive over bent knees, forward fold, let your head just go. Long spine sets you up, step or float through your vinyasa. Nice, upward facing dog, nice and smooth, no jerky movements. Hips up and back, down dog. The right foot lands, the back foot turns. These look very good. Rise, warrior 1. Hands back down to the floor through a vinyasa. Upward facing dog. Hips up and back, downward facing. The left foot lands, the back foot turns. Warrior 1, move on your breath. Everyone's a little different. Back down we go through a vinyasa. Upward facing is smooth. Hips up and back, downward facing. You pause in the moments you could pause, and you just breathe and be still. Look to the top of the mat. The goal is to keep your arms straight. So see if you can do it. Long spine when you arrive. So get all the way to the top of the mat, long spine, right into that length. Exhale, fold. Sit into chair, weight moves into your heels. And then press up to stand up. Drag your hands to prayer. Drop your arms. One more of these, guys. Arms slide straight up. Sit deep into chair. Dive over, bent knees, forward fold. Let your head just go. Come to the fingertips, set it up. Step or float through your vinyasa. Up dog is smooth. Hips up and back, down dog. The right foot lands, the back foot turns. Warrior one, come on up. Hands come back down on your breath. Plank through a push-up. Up dog. Hips up and back, down dog. The left foot lands, the back foot turns. Warrior one, come on up. Back down we go, your breath, your movement. Up dog, hips up and back, downward facing. Right foot lands, back foot turns. Warrior one, come up and hold. Good, keeping the legs this shape, just bring your arms forward. Wrap your left arm underneath your right. Lift the elbows up. Sit a little heavier into your front side, and then come forward for a humble warrior with eagle arms. Now, if you can get your right shoulder to kind of slide to the instep of your right knee and just let your head go, that's kind of the goal we're going for. But as you do this, grip your right hip in, yes, and really use the blade of your back left foot to press. Steer the left ribs forward. Let yourself feel the posture as you hold a little bit longer. Press down, steer the torso and the chest up, unravel your arms to the sky, feel the blood flow to the fingertips, bring it to the floor, move through a vinyasa, or simply go to dog. Once you get to your down dog, land your left foot forward, turn your back foot strong, come on up, warrior one. Bring your arms forward, straight out in front of you. Wrap your right arm underneath your left. Lift your elbows up. Inhale the breath, get heavy in your front thigh. Exhale the breath, come forward. See if you can slide your left shoulder right to the instep of that left leg without the hip jutting out. Hug it under. Steer the right side of your body forward. Let your head just drop and then breathe. So the feeling I have with my arms is that I'm trying to slide my arms more forward. Yeah. But I'm not opening my hips. My hips are steered forward. Stay with it. Press strong through your back foot and grip your left hip more under you. Anchor through your legs. Pull your torso up. Unravel your arms. It should feel great to spread them up. Hands come down. Vinyasa or dog. Up dog is smooth. Hips up and back, down dog. Step your right foot forward. Low lunge, pause. Yeah, if you have a block, have it nearby, okay? Tense your left fingertip, peel your right arm open. Go into an easy twist here. Keep stacking the two shoulders. Grip your right hip underneath you without that hip winging out and activate the muscles around your back left leg. Look sideways or look up. Breathe your collarbone and your chest open. Good. Look to the floor, right hand comes down. Keep your right foot where it is. Turn your back foot on a strong angle. Use your block, place it to the instep of your foot. Right hand's gonna come down on the inside. We're setting up for that B variation from the ground up. Left arm extends up towards the sky. Yes, make sure that your stance is wide enough and long enough. Right. If having your hand down on the floor of the block kind of is not great, arm can just rest on the top of the thigh, but the goal is to have a bent right leg. Left arm straight up towards the sky, or you can go right ahead and wrap it behind you for that half bind. It's up to you. You gotta lean back a little bit into this pose. Let me see how you're all doing with that. Yes, and if you have a block, I mean, most of us at this point have invested in a block. The block can be high, really high. Yeah, it could be high because it's gonna be, It's going to feel better in the hip if you're higher, because then you can bend deeper into that thigh. And that's what we're trying to create, is that hip opener. Yeah, and that side body opener. Good. Stay with it right here. Good. If you took a half bind, unravel your arms straight up towards the sky, but pause for a second. Don't be in a rush. Yeah, so you're just in this V variation. You're leaning back. You're annoyed at me by holding this, but you're staying a drop longer. The top arm and the top back leg is what's going to pull you up now to warrior two, okay? You're going to spread your collarbone. Actually, guys, do this. Knuckle your hands. This is your sternum. Knuckle your hands like this, okay? Get real heavy in your front thigh. You got it. Yeah, if you're not sure, you look. And then spread your arms open. And then close your eyes. Hold warrior two, 5 breaths. Lengthen the tailbone. Stack yourself up neatly and nicely. And just pause in space. Keep wrapping your right thigh open. Side ribs long. Yeah. And allow yourself to feel. Feel strong. Feel accomplished in this pose. 2 more. Straighten your right leg on track. Pivot your right toes in. Clasp your hands behind your back. So your toes are just going straight forward. Now inhale the breath, bend behind your knees. Exhale, come forward, wide straddle. Hands are bound behind you. If this doesn't work out, any variation, you can place your hands down on the floor and fold. You can grab onto the front of the ankles and fold. I'm going with clasped hands and letting them drop down. Always a little bend behind your knees, everyone, so you can breathe your hips way up off your shoulders this morning and up off your heels. Rock a little bit more weight forward, drop your head a little lower and your navel closer to the front of your thighs. Release any binds, hands come down directly in front of you. Long spine on the inhale. Hands come to your hips, halfway up, the rest of the way up. Keep your legs the same right now. Just open up your arms. So your arms are straight and your legs are straight. And then from your right hip, pick up your right foot and pivot forward towards the front edge of the mat. So you're setting up for triangle Trikanasana. My right toes are pointed forward. My back left leg is straight, it's on a little angle. And then I'm going to reach out and find triangle. Right hand grabbing the front of the right shin, or utilizing a block to the outside of the calf. Stack the left arm straight up if you can. Feel the side ribs stay very, very long. Look sideways or look up. And then breathe. I like a little bend in that front knee. Yeah. Lean back just a little bit. Feel the pressing of the inner arches and the outer parts of your feet. As your inner and outer thighs contract, your waist stays long and you maintain the shape of the pose for 2 more breaths. Look to the floor. Circle the hands down. Lean on your left hand for a Shavasana side plank. You could modify this any which way. That's why I showed you earlier the modification. You can drop that knee down again. You can stack the feet. Yeah. So the left knee will go down if you're going to go into that modified version. You got it. Perfect. Or you can stack the feet on top of one another. I like staggering the feet. That's a good option. I just feel like it's got more support. Plank position, nice and slow. Transitions are everything. Chaturanga, if you're up for it. Up dog. Press to the tops of the feet and the hands, hips up and back, downward facing dog. Wasn't that exciting and fun? From your down dog, step your left foot forward into a low lunge. Yeah. The right hand's going to tent, the left arm's going to peel. You're going into an easy twist. You got it. Back leg super strong. Left hip stacks in. It's not a long hold. 2 shoulders slide on top of one another. You look sideways, you look up. We look to the floor, place both hands down, frame out the front foot. Keep the left foot where it is, turn the back foot on an angle. You should be heel to arch or heel to heel. Use the block, place it to the instep of the foot. Left arm down, right arm up. B variation. Reminding you, if you go high with the block, it may be a better option for you to keeping the shape of that front leg. So play with this, see what works for you. Maybe the arm on the top of the thigh. Half bind is there for some of you, if you feel you want to go for it. And then there's this leaning back. It's like the feeling like the chest can get really open and your gaze can go sideways or up. Grip the left hip in super strong, turn your bottom ribs, and breathe into the whole pose. If you took a bind, just extend the right arm. Everybody has their right arm going straight up towards the sky. Lean back a little more, hang on. Top arm, back leg, pulling you up, warrior two. Knuckle your hands together to the center of your sternum, press, then get a little heavier on that front thigh. Then reopen up your arms, everything's nice and even. Then you can close your eyes if that's available to you. Wrap that left thigh open. Breathe. Lengthen down and hold a little bit longer. Relax the jaw, relax the face, just be. Keep the arms super straight, just straighten your left leg. Pivot the left toes forward, so both feet are facing forward. Drop your arms down, interlace your hands the opposite grip or hands to hips. Inhale the breath, bend behind the knees. Exhale, come forward and fold. Any of these variations are great. Let the head just hang. Yeah, hands can drop down. Your hands can be resting on blocks. I mean, there's so many great ways. This helps with anxiety. If you feel anxious or know people that feel anxious, this definitely helps because you're dropping your head below your heart, right? If you have a bind, release the hands directly underneath you. Come to the fingertips, long spine. Do that first. Then your hands come to your hips. Then you come halfway up, come the rest of the way up. Open up your arms. Yes, nice and wide with your arms. From your left hip, just turn your left toes out and then pivot, Trikanasana triangle pose. Yeah, set it up here so it works for you. A block is great for a lot of us. Pull up on the front of the shin. Side ribs nice and long. You want to stack yourself up. Some of us like tighter, closer triangles. Some of us like bigger, wider ones. So find one that works. Activate the little muscles, the side ribs, the inner and outer thighs, the base of your feet. And then breathe yourself open right here and hold. There's a feeling like you're leaning back a tiny bit, but you're not dumping into your low back. So just be mindful of that. Soft bend behind your left front leg. Couple more. Look to the floor, circle the hands down, lean onto your right hand, find Shavasana side plank. Stack yourself up. A variation you know you can hold for a whole bunch of breaths. So if you need to back out, drop the knee, maintain there. That's a good spot to be. Stagger the feet. Stack it up. Lift from your bottom hip to your top. Yes, for me personally, sometimes I'm able to hold side plank for a few breaths and then I have to opt out and just drop my knee down and be in the version that's a little bit more supportive. Stay a few more. These look awesome. Plank position, do it slow. Add in a push up here. Drag yourself through an up dog or cobra. Hips up and back, downward facing dog. Exhale all the breath out. Look where you want to go. Step or float to the top of the mat. Long spine when you arrive. Exhale, fold into yourself. Sit into a little baby chair pose, guys. Little baby chair. Balancing on your right leg, you're gonna wrap your left thigh around your right thigh. So your left leg goes around your right, and then your left arm wraps underneath your right. So you're going into an eagle here. Yeah. Steer your hips back. If your foot doesn't get around your calf, don't worry about it. Just wrap the tops of the thighs, steer the hips back, and lift the chest. Get heavy in the standing right leg, the heel. So for today, guys, you're gonna start to bring your torso about halfway forward. As you do that, your hips move back. The weight stays in your heels. So you're just kind of lengthening the spine out. You're gonna start to bring your gaze with you. Unravel your arms. Take the block off the edge of that right baby toe. We're unraveling into half moon. It's gonna challenge your outer hips here, okay? That's the goal. So if you fall out and you need to reset, it's okay. Half moon on your right leg. It's to challenge the outer hips. The toes want to turn in. Keep them forward. Use the block. The block's going to be super helpful, and it may take a couple beats to get you there. Open it up once you find it and breathe. Half moon on your right leg. Flex your left toes. Look sideways or look up. We're gonna have a little fun here. Yeah, and if the fun is falling out, the fun is falling out. It's okay. One more big breath, guys. Look to the floor, square it off. You may need to use your blocks here, okay? What I want you to do is just go into a standing split. As you fold yourself over your right leg, your left leg does not drop. Your shoulders soften, your belly draws in. Good. You're going to kick your left heel towards your left butt cheek. Okay, just bend your left leg in half. You're going to come all the way down to the ground into Ardha Matsyendrasana. I taught a version of this the other day, and I really like it. You're going to come into a seated spine twist, and you're like, what the hell is going on? Your left leg is bent, your right leg is on top. It looks just like this. Your right hand comes behind you. You're going to hug the top right leg, and you're going to twist. That's it. You're just seated, and you're twisting. Even if it's going the wrong direction, who cares? Because you're going to find the right direction next time. Inhale the breath, lengthen up. Exhale, look over the shoulder to the right and twist. One more. Inhale, lengthen, give that leg a squeeze. Exhale, twist. Great. You're going to come back to center. Now, this is where we're going to have a little fun. And don't beat yourself up if it doesn't work out. Okay, you're going to press back to that standing split the way you got in. So do it slow. You're going to shift your weight forward. Right leg's going to grip in. Left leg's going to extend up. And you're going to fold. And let your head go. Do it slow so you can really feel what you're doing. Come to the fingertips, long spine. Step your feet together. Sit into chair. You got it. Drag your hands to prayer. Inhale the breath. Hook the elbow and twist to the right. That's the only reason we really want the twisting all to be the same direction, but it doesn't work out sometimes. It's okay. Weight stays in your heels. Yeah. Open up your arms if you want a little more, but really be mindful of your alignment, your feet, your knees, your shins, and are you breathing? No angry yoga, just be and do as much as you can. Twist a little deeper. Pull around to chair. When you come back to chair, sit 2 inches deeper in chair, work your thighs, work your legs, and then shoot up to stand up and drag your hands to prayer. And just stand for a second. Just stand for a second. Have your blocks at the top of the mat. We got to do the whole other side. Yes. Sit into a little baby chair, okay? Wrap your right thigh around your left thigh. And don't get beat up if this foot doesn't get all the way around. Wrap your right arm underneath your left for eagle. So eagle on the left leg. Just take eagle normally to begin. And if wrapping the arms doesn't work out, hands can always just be in a prayer. I'd like to remind you of that. Squeeze everything very tight. Weight is in the standing left heel. Your butt goes back, your spine is a little arched, your gaze goes forward. So squeeze a little tighter and then start to lean out with a straight spine. Just go about, halfway, 2, 3, 4 inches forward with your spine and then start to look forward. Now you're going to unravel slow into that half moon. You definitely need to use a block. Fine tuning that left hip and opening it up nice and wide. Do it slow. We're triggering those small muscles. Half moon. And if you fall out, just come back. Try it again. Find the proper placement of the block, enough forward and enough to the left that it's underneath your left shoulder. Breathe yourself open. Stack yourself up. Spark up your right toes. And if you fall, join us again. Stay with it. 2 more. Look to the floor. Place both hands down. Square off your hips and just fold. Fold over your left leg. Don't let your right leg drop. Try not to open the hips. Square everything off. Relax the shoulders. Bend your right heel towards your right butt cheek. Just do that much. Look to the floor and slowly start to land that right knee to the outside of that left foot and come down and sit. Maybe this transition was a little better. Make sure you're not sitting on your right heel. Left hand comes behind you. I'm just going to give this left leg a squeeze. Inhale the breath, lengthen up. Exhale, twist. Yeah, you're looking sideways to the left and maybe turning and looking back. Inhale, create some space. Exhale, twist. 1 more. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist it out. Good. Come back to center, counter stretch. Now you're going to focus on this left standing leg. You're going to use your body strength to bring your weight forward and unravel the right leg back towards the sky, standing split. Fold. Let your head go. Keep the hips neutral and squared. Long spine on the inhale. Land your feet together. Sit big into chair. Drag your hands to prayer 1 more time. Inhale the breath. Hook the elbow. Twist to the left. 2 knees line up. Feet and weight in the heels. And you get in there. Great work, everybody. That was our little version of dancing yoga. Steer the hips back more and keep the spine very long. Look sideways, try not to look back in this pose. Stay with it. Pull around to chair. Sit 2 inches deeper in chair, you can. Shoot up to stand up. Hands to prayer. Drop your arms. Good. Walk your feet so they're hips width distance for me. Separate them so they're hips width distance. Ooh, that was a tongue twister. Right foot's going to stay. Left leg is going to go back about 3 feet. Hands on your hips. Right hand on your hip. Left arm extends up. Come halfway down. Steer your right hip back using your right hand. And then come the rest of the way down. I like a block to the instep of the foot. My right hand then comes to the flat part of the back, guiding me, looking sideways, looking up, and then stacking open here. It feels good after all that to do this twisting triangle. Essentially, all those poses were this pose. So it's nice to kind of put it all together. The block on the instep generally works the best for the majority of us. Yes, you can knuckle your hand and that works great because it's going to get you out of your shoulder. Look sideways or look up. Steer your hips. It's like someone's got you by a big stretchy TheraBand and they're pulling you back and the spine is moving forward. Hug the outer hips in, twist a little deeper. Good. Look to the floor and just fold over your right leg for just a breath. Just fold. Just let your head go. Let your shoulders relax. Breathe into both the meaty parts of your hamstrings. And then come to the fingertips along spine and just step your left foot back forward, that hips width distance. So the left foot comes forward. Hands come to your hips, come halfway up, come the rest of the way up. Keep the left foot where it is. Just step the right foot back, hands on hips. Left hand stays on hip, right arm reaches big. We come halfway, we steer our left hip back, we come the rest of the way down. Left hip on that flat part of the spine gives you great information. And then looking sideways and looking up, maybe the left arm goes up. Outer hips hug in nice and tight. And then we twist. Find the sweet spot with the blocks. You're not jamming into your shoulder. Sometimes knuckling the hand helps. Yeah. Gets you out of the shoulder a little more. Feel your outer hip squeeze in as you twist open a little deeper. One more big breath in, stay with it. Look to the floor and just fold over your left leg, let it go. Good. Plant your hands, and from here, just step to a dog. Just step to a dog, guys. Once you get to down dog, land your right foot forward, crescent lunge. Last standing pose here. Bring your arms up. Yeah. Drag your hands to prayer. Lean out and then hook the elbow and twist. And then it's like a little leaning back, so the crown of the head lines up with your back left heel. Yeah. Emily, twist the other direction. So get your left heel up off the ground. It's gonna be so much easier. There you go. And then hook the left elbow. There, now we're in business. Good. And then open up your arms if you want a little more. But if you feel like, I'm good, just breathe yourself through this for the next few. Lean back, twist open. Good. Look down, place both hands to the floor. And with using your core and your upper body muscles, step to a dog. Step to a down dog. Yeah. Good. Slide your left foot forward, crescent lunge on the other side. Yeah, so just moving a little, like a little less movement and a little bit more mindful. Come up crescent, bend deep into that standing left thigh, drag your hands to prayer. Lean forward a little. I was telling my class yesterday when I taught in person, if you lean out a little with a long spine, it's going to be a lot easier in your lower back to twist. The extension's coming from that back leg. So if you can really find the space, then hook and twist, it's going to be a whole lot less aggravating on your low back. That's not where we're twisting. We're twisting through the ribs. Great. And then sometimes you get there and you're like, it's just not working. I need to drop my knee. I need to back out. Do all those things. You do you. High on the ball of your back foot. You want to lean back a little. Get the crown of the head to line up. And yeah, sometimes it's just more of an air twist. You don't even actually have to hook that thigh. Stay for 3 more breaths. You're doing great. Look to the floor. Place both hands down. Anchor your core. Step to a dog. From your down dog, slide your right knee forward. Half pigeon. Small movements and then fold. If you can, let your head drop and let yourself just melt. Good. Come up nice and slow. Lean onto your right side. Swing your left leg around. It's like a little tree, okay? Right hand goes behind you. The crease of the wrist faces back. Inhale the breath. Exhale, lift up into sail pose. It's a back bend. Look towards the sky. Press down to lift higher. Exhale the breath, lower down. When you hit the floor, your right shin's going to come forward, your left leg's going to come on top for ankle to knee pose. If this does not work for you today, just do what we started with. Just kind of cross the ankles in Sukhasana and just make it so I'll face towards you, it's easier. Just make it more of an aggressive kind of crisscross applesauce. Flex the feet strong. Inhale the breath, stretch your arms up, come halfway, come the rest of the way down. For me personally, I generally set up blocks. And I rest my arms and I just fold like this. So either you're doing a double pigeon, ankle to knee, or you're just sitting cross-legged like this with feet flexed. Either which way works great for both outer hips. Flex the feet and breathe. The more you flex, the more protectivity you're going to get in your knees. And you're gonna start to feel those outer hips. Good, pull your torso up. The easiest way to get out of this, guys, is just unravel, cross your ankles, and step through a vinyasa one last time. Up dog is smooth. If it wasn't that pretty, it's okay. Downward facing dog. Land your left knee forward, half pigeon on the left side, and fold. Yeah. Come up nice and slow, lean on the left side and just sweep your right leg forward. It's like a little half tree pose. Left hand goes behind you and then lift up. And you just lift up as much as you can. The right arm reaches back. The left knee is down and you lift up. It's a back bend. Look towards the sky if you can. Keep breathing. Exhale the breath, lower down. And then you're going to stack yourself up here for ankle to knee or just crossing at the ankles again. I'll pivot towards you. When you do ankle to knee, guys, you want your left foot on top of that right knee and then your right knee on top of that left. You can also just simply cross the ankles, inhale, stretch up, and exhale, dive forward. Flex the feet super strong. I just want you to target your outer hips, so it doesn't matter how deep you're going. And breathe here. Hold a little deeper if you can. Good, pull yourself up, unravel your legs, take your block with you if you have it, lay down. Bend your legs in half, lift your tailbone up and slide your block any level underneath you. So it goes kind of on that sacrum. Then you're gonna take your palms flat, maybe clasp the hands around so you create this little back bend. Pause here. Moving on, run leg towards the sky and then the other. So you're basically doing a supported shoulder stand. Let me check you all out. Yeah. If you don't have a block, your back would just be flat on the ground. Yeah, that's perfect. This is like the best thing to do because it flushes out all the lactic acid. That's the stuff that makes us sore. And, you know, we're at the end of the practice. So if you could start to kind of let your mind really check out, that's going to be the best thing. If you can clasp your hands around the block, that's going to create the little back bend. And then really trying to keep your legs, they may need to have a bend. That's okay. Over your hips. And just feel, feel whatever's going on. And then with your eyes closed, if you can, just unclasp the hands, plant the palms flat to the ground, bend your knees in half, and then take your feet 1 foot at a time to the floor. Once they come down to the ground and you establish like a grounded sensation, lift the tailbone enough that you can slide out a block if it was there, and then lower the lower back down slowly. Hug your knees in towards your chest, give them a big squeeze, reach for the outer blades of your feet, and just slide into a happy baby pose. Yeah, you can rock a little right, left. That's a little more dead buggish. Feel your upper shoulders melt to the ground. Feel your lower back spread against the floor. And then release that and slide into a version of Shavasana. Yes, the master pose. Complete rest. Don't chinch yourself here. Chinch yourself. Shavasana, complete rest. Take a really big breath in. And then exhale everything out through your mouth really loud. Wiggle the fingers, wiggle the toes. Bring your arms slowly up over the top of your head. Give yourself a giant stretch from fingertips to toes. And then hug your knees in. And rock up the best way that you can this morning, sitting up in a position that's comfortable. We've come full circle this morning. We did a lot of good work on our mats. Yeah, you should feel pretty solid. Bring the hands to a prayer, bow your head for a second. It's amazing how this practice really does ground you. So thank yourselves for showing up. Lift your head, open your eyes. Namaste. Awesome job. See you next time. Have a great afternoon.